Hello students, welcome back to my channel Ducklinks. In this video we are going to cover the question answers of chapter 2 for class 6 history. The chapter's name is Hunting, Gathering to Growing Food. We have already discussed the chapter in detail. This video specifically contains the question and answers from that chapter. So let's start. First question from the chapter is, who were hunters and gatherers? So the answer is, people who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago were called as hunter-gatherers. They hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks and eggs to get their food. They moved from one place to another for various reasons. आपको याद होगा मैंने आपको चैप्टर एक्सप्लेन करते हुए समझाया था कि जो सबसे अर्लीस्ट पीपल थे वो हंटर गैदरर्स थे और वो सिर्फ हंटिंग करते थे और खाना जहाँ से उन्हें मिलता था वो अलग अलग फॉर्म में सीड्स रूट्स नट्स इकट्ठा कर लेते थे, इसीलिए वो इन्हीं रीजन से वो एक जगह दूसरी जगह घूमते थे. तो यही पूरा आंसर जो है इसी तरह से फ्रेम किया हुआ है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाई डिड हंटर गैदरर्स मूव फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस? क्यों घूमते थे? तो यही आंसर ऊपर वाला ही क्वेश्चन है, लेकिन उसको हमने पॉइंट्स में हमने उसी क्वेश्चन को डिफरेंट तरह से फ्रेम किया है. तो इसका आंसर हमने एक पॉइंट वाइज एक्सप्लेन किया है कि क्यों मूव करते थे. इन सर्च ऑफ फूड, टू हंट द एनिमल्स, दे नीड टू फॉलो देयर मूवमेंट्स, in search of different kind of plants which bear fruits in different seasons. I told you in the chapter video in which I explained the chapter that because the plants they rear fruits or vegetables in different seasons, so therefore they have to move in search of such plants. Similarly, animals keep on moving from one place to another, and because early people were hunters, they have to move along with these animals for hunting. And also because water is very important source, so during the different seasons rivers dry and at other places the rivers are live, so they have to move from one place to another in search of water also. So these are the different reasons for the hunter gatherers to move, right? Next question is, list some of the uses of the stone tools made by the hunter gatherers. As you remember that in the chapter we explained that in this particular stage people started making stone tools. They started using tools made of stone, right? And therefore we have discussed the three stages of history also, which were Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic, right? Because these were stone ages. So this stone were used. So what were the uses of the stone? So the answer is, archaeologists have found tools used by the earliest people, that is hunter-gatherers. These tools were made of stone, wood and bones. The tools were used for different purposes as below: to cut meat and bones, to scrape bark from trees and hides from animal skins, to chop fruits and roots, to make spears and arrows for hunting, to chop wood, to dig ground to collect edible roots, to stitch clothes made of animal skin. स्टूडेंट्स आई विल सजेस्ट, अगर आप क्वेश्चन आंसर से पहले चैप्टर एक्सप्लेनेशन की वीडियो देखेंगे तो आपको सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स याद करने में बहुत ही ईजी हो जाएंगे, बिकॉज चैप्टर के एक्सप्लेनेशन में मैंने आपको ये सारे पॉइंट्स बहुत डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन किए हैं. ये वाली वीडियो स्पेसिफिकली क्वेश्चन आंसर्स के फॉर्मेट में है ताकि आपको क्वेश्चंस के रेडीमेड आंसर्स जो हैं याद करने के लिए मिल जाऊं, तो आप एग्जाम से पहले इस क्वेश्चन बैंक के थ्रू पूरे चैप्टर की रिवीजन कर सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाट आर द टू टाइप्स ऑफ रिवर्स? देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ रिवर्स, पेरिनियल रिवर्स एंड नॉन पेरिनियल रिवर्स. पेरिनियल रिवर्स वो होती हैं जो सारे साल एक्सेप्ट इन द ड्रॉट सीजन कॉन्टिन्यूसली फ्लो करती रहती हैं, लेकिन नॉन पेरिनियल रिवर्स वो होती हैं जो कि कम से कम साल के कुछ टाइम तक वो सूखी रहती हैं, वो फ्लो नहीं करती हैं, उनको हम नॉन पेरिनियल रिवर्स बोलते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाट वर द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट्स लोकेटेड एंड व्हाई? कहाँ पे लोकेटेड है मेजॉरिटी ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट्स और क्यों? आंसर इज, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट्स वर लोकेटेड एट बिलो. Number 1, near the sources of water such as rivers and lakes because of the availability of water of use. Since tools were important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. So that was another place of important site. Natural caves were another important place of shelter for early people. So natural caves were also the important sites for archaeologists. Next question, explain the caves and rock shelters found by the archaeologists. Students, in the chapter explanation, we discussed in detail about these caves. So answer is archaeologists have found the caves and rock shelters, especially in Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh, where early people used to live. People choose these natural caves because they provide shelter from rain, heat, and wind. There were paintings on the walls of these caves showing wild animals which were drawn with great accuracy and skill. Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh is one such old site with caves and rock shelters. So point wise हमने इसका आंसर जो है अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया है कि इन आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट्स के बारे में, इन केव्स और शेल्टर्स में क्या मिला और क्या इनसे पता चला. Next question, what are sites? Sites are the places where the remains of the things like tools, pots, buildings, etc. were found. These were made, used and left behind by people. Sites may be found on the surface of the earth, buried under the earth or sometimes even under water. Question number 8. How do you know that early men used fire? We know that early men used fire as archaeologists have found the evidences of ash at different sites. This suggests that people were familiar with the use of fire. Fire could have been used for many things, as source of light, to roast meat, to scare away animals. Next question. Explain the different periods in the history of civilization. Students, this has been explained in detail in my chapter video in a tabular format where the 3 ages and their features have been explained. So you can please look into that video once. In this answer, I have explained the 3 stages in 3 different points. There are 3 different periods as below. The earliest period extended from 2 million years ago to 12,000 years ago, which was known as the Paleolithic age. It is derived from the word paleo meaning old and lithos meaning stone. This is the longest period in the human history and is divided into lower, middle and upper Paleolithic age. Second period beginning from 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago is called the Mesolithic age. At this time, tools made were tiny and they were called microliths. Environmental changes began in this period. Third stage, the stage starting from 10,000 years ago, is called the Neolithic age. It is derived from the Greek word neo meaning new and lithos meaning stone. So these are the 3 periods or 3 ages of the Stone Age. Question number 10. What do you know about the changes in the environment 12,000 years ago and its effect on the life of the people? Answer. Around 12,000 years ago, there was a major change in the climate of the world and it started getting warm, due to which the following changes started taking place. First, due to warm conditions, natural grasslands were developed, which further led to increase in the number of animals that survived on grass, like goat, sheep and cattle. Second, people started thinking about hunting and rearing animals on their own. Third, fishing also became important during this period. Fourth, crops like wheat, barley, rice grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. People collected these grains as food, learnt about their growing conditions and starting growing these plants on their own. इसको स्टूडेंट्स आप यहाँ ठीक कर लीजिएगा. ये हर्टिंग नहीं है, ये हंटिंग है. ये वाला वर्ड जो है इसको आप प्लीज करेक्ट कीजिएगा, ये हंटिंग है, HUNTING. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज डोमेस्टिकेशन? अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया था मैंने आपको कि डोमेस्टिकेशन का मतलब होता है कि जब पीपल ने सेलेक्ट करना शुरू कर दिया कि उन्हें कौन से एनिमल्स और प्लांट्स को रियर करना है, प्रोड्यूस करना है. Domestication is a process in which people grow plants and look after animals on their own. Around 12,000 years ago, people started selecting plants and animals for domestication. Plants that yield large-sized grain, have strong stalks, and capable of bearing the weight of ripe grain were selected and sown to ensure plants of good quality. Relatively gentle animals were selected for breeding. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं, आप प्लीज इनको स्टडी करके जाइएगा. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट अबाउट द वेज टू स्टोर ग्रेन्स यूज्ड बाय द अर्ली पीपल. Early people had to think of the ways of storing the grains which had to be used for both food as well as seed. तो उनको जो स्टोर करना होता था ग्रेन्स को, 2 पर्पस होते थे, एक तो खाने के लिए और एक सीड बनाने के लिए, दोबारा ग्रो करने के लिए. So they started making clay pots and weaving baskets to store grain. Also, they dug pits into the ground for the storage. Next question. What did archaeologists found about the types of houses people lived in? आपको याद होगा मैंने आपको चैप्टर में बुर्जा होम की साइट है उसके बारे में समझाया था जो कश्मीर के पास है जहाँ पिट हाउसेस फाइंड किए थे यही इसका आंसर है आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट हैव फाउंड ट्रेसेस ऑफ हाउसेस at some sites like in Burzahom, present-day Kashmir. These was called as pit houses as they were dug into the ground with steps leading into them. These might have provided shelter in the cold weather. There were cooking huts both inside and outside the huts, suggesting that they used to cook food either indoor or outdoor depending on the weather. Next question. Describe the findings at the Mehergarh site. ये बहुत ही important question है चैप्टर में भी मैंने आपको एक्सप्लेन की है इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस आंसर देख लेते हैं इसका क्या है मेहरगढ़ इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट लोकेटेड नियर द बोलान पास which is an important route into the Iran. Some of the findings here are as below. People learned to grow barley and wheat here. Rearing of animals like sheep and goats started here for the first time. Remains of square or rectangular houses with 4 or more compartments probably used for storage were found here. Bones of animals like deer, pig, sheep and goat were found here. Several burial sites have been found at Mehergarh. Dead persons were buried with goats which probably served as food for them after death. So students, with this the questions from the chapter 2 of history are complete. I hope these questions will help you a lot in revising the entire chapter just before your exam. If you have any particular questions, do write to me in the comment box. If you like this video, please press the bell icon, subscribe to my channel for notifications as soon as the video comes. Thank you. Have a great day.